Yep, there we go. Now we got it. Okay, now there's a thing we have to share it because they don't know what they're doing. She copied it. Okay, now I gotta make an announcement. We are live. Put the link. Chat on YouTube or in and then at so can Ethan hear us, Robert?
No, I got my headphones.
Greg.
Say sugar for yes and spice for no, but are we seeing maybe a rekindling?
Shice.
Oh, interesting.
Who knows?
So she sowed her wild oats, and now she's like, okay, now I want stability back.
I don't think it's quite all that, but
Because before we get to this is just between us girls.
Yeah.
From what I heard is she was kind of spreading, well, I don't know if her seed, but her whole, all over West Hollywood.
Who's she? Robert? Are you she?
This Roberto Mata.
I don't really spread whole much.
Oh, so she was spreading seed all over West Hollywood. She got a lot of girls pregnant.
Hopping around.
It's time to spread whole. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much sense.
She was there, I'm not even joking. There are 3 gay little poo babies that he already just did in the time he was looking up.
Poo babies.
Yeah.
Well, that's they're called Sugar and Spice. And Jax. Jax
We'll get into that.
Those girls
I have some things to say about that. Huh?
Oh.
All right.
You're going to be sounding like Mistress Isabel Brooks.
Oh, no.
She had a lot of things to say about that.
Nathan and I already kind of discussed it in a late night for us, but not late night for him conversation. Last night. Okay, let me see. Now that that's done, let me close this. What window is this? Let me just close windows. Don't need to close that, but I can close this. And then we're going to go right into Just Between Us Girls. I don't need my messages opened. Robert has her legs open. That was what I heard. Yeah. By the way, we can't see this in the air, but Nathan here is pretty much a straight up motherfucking dick pig for any co-host we have on this show.
No, I'm not.
Joe, that seems to be a common analogy between all of them.
Yeah, well, no, he had it for Salandra, who you met Salandra. By the way, I still think, and we have not. Oh, are you busy next Sunday? Because I want to do a. Here's why. I want to do an ambush of Jay. Because did you know that Christian wanted to do like a night where we talk about what happened to Magic Castle?
Okay.
And Jay was like, I don't want to do that. But I have a show that I do with Jay next Sunday, and I just want to ambush him, make him talk about it.
I will unfortunately be in San Francisco for
okay, no big
birthday.
deal. That's all right. So the point is, I still think about the Sissy Lala comment. That was like maybe my favorite moment of the night.
I can't remember.
You don't remember the Sissy Lala comment?
It's just really hard when you just spew a bunch of nonsense to remember every single little detail.
Well, we were in a show with a bunch of gay guys in the show, and at the end of the show, Nathan, Robert was looking very angrily off the side of it. Was like, it's hard to explain, but it was an open area where you could see people who weren't in the show. And I go, what's wrong? He goes, I don't know. There's some conservative white lady who said her husband asked if she wanted to go on the show, and she was like, no. There's too many sissy lalas in that show. And I thought that was like, I wasn't even offended. I thought it was the greatest term I had ever heard.
It'd be a great drag name as well.
Oh yeah. Sure. Sissy
right.
Lala Ree.
Yeah. I was thinking one today about serendipity.
Oh, it might be too big a word for the girls who aren't sesquipedalians.
So just between us STD girls.
Oh, just between us estitis. We are here to season premiere of season 15. We're all over the world. La 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 la. Trying to find our baby. But we have Nathan Brown here in Australia. Robert, did you know that Nathan Brown was in Australia?
I didn't. I assumed UK, to be honest with you.
Oh,
Sorry.
really?
I was
Get
mixing
out.
up foreign white countries.
And then Robert's just a few miles away. But it's funny that you say that. Where do you? I'm gonna go around the horn here. Let's start with our guest, Robert. Robert, where do you fall on this Prince Harry versus the royal family thing? And don't do this. I don't like anybody involved. You have to take a side. Royal family or Prince Harry?
If I have to pick a side, then I'm gonna go with Prince Harry.
Mhm.
I haven't known much, but I did see something about an article about the fact that he was at some ceremony with the frostbitten dick.
Oh yeah.
And I have to be on the side of the bitch with the frostbitten dick.
Yeah, that's a good point. What about you, Nathan? Where do you fall?
I'm so sick of this fucking Harry and Meghan. They're like, oh, we want to be out of the spotlight. We want to be out of the spotlight. And then they get Netflix deals. I'm over it. Yes, the royal family, they're incestuous, white, old, racist fuckers. But also, if you're going to leave and let live. What about you, Joe?
I don't know if I'm blinded because I think that this Prince Harry is super hot.
Super?
But,
Super hot?
Well, you're right. Not
He
super
looks
hot,
like
but
a
he's
Walmart
hot.
version of the pit crew member, Bryce.
Oh, no. But I think Bryce looks like a Walmart version of Prince Harry.
Damn.
I don't think Bryce is attractive at all. You think does
Oh.
Bryce do it for you, Robert?
A little bit, but I heard from UCLA friends that he's straight, so straight.
Oh, no. Yeah, he says he's straight. Even though, yeah. What about you, Nathan?
I think we should retire Bryce. I think we've had a few seasons of like the straight ginge, and now it's time for him to go.
I think he's very popular.
He
But
seems
his
so
time is
sweet.
numbered because this John Jacob Jason Heimel Smith, he was there for years and years and years, and they got rid of that old queen.
I
Right?
miss him too.
And he looked good. He looked the last season he was on to the first season he was on. He looked the same, but they were like, black don't crack, right, Nathan? You've told me that before. That's where I
coined
learned
the
the
term.
phrase. Yeah, that's where I learned the phrase.
Okay.
But he's not on anymore. Now it's just Bruno.
I do love Bruno.
Oh,
Who's
you,
so
yeah,
sweet.
I got a text message from a friend today who told me he loved Bruno. But anyway, this Prince Harry, like, I just feel the royal family fucks him over, and I kind of get what he's saying overall.
Get over it. Like the other royal family members back in the day used to die in his position, like they used to get murdered in the tower. You're fine, Harry.
I do. By the way, people should know because people think that there's either like Meghan Markle's a bitch or she's not. Meghan Markle can be a bitch, and the royal family can be awful. Both can be true.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't
I
even
will
watch
say
the
that.
documentary, but
Oh, I
I
didn't
saw
watch
that
it.
little clip. It was like, oh, I put my kid to bed and I play my Duolingo and then I do my Wordle. And I was like, you make me want to murder you.
Oh, I don't care about Meghan Markle. I think she's stupid, right? I just want to suck Harry's frostbitten penis. Would you,
Yeah.
Robert? Let me ask you this: if there was a guy who's like, Robert, help, my penis is frostbitten, would you help him out?
No, because what if I get frostbitten lips? I doubt cold transfers
point.
like that, but you
Nathan.
gotta look out for number one.
What do you think? What are
I'd
your
help.
thoughts on
I'd
that?
help him out. I'd help him out.
Now, Nathan, let me ask you a question. I'm kind of embarrass you right now. So Robert doesn't know this. Nathan has a big thing for pits, armpits.
Oh yeah.
A pit head.
He's a pit head. He's a pit crew. He's in the pit crew. Are you, let me rephrase. Are you disappointed that Robert wore the Joe Betance uniform today?
Yeah, I was a little upset.
Oh, so you would love to see Robert's pits.
You can do a costume change for the main show, Robert.
I'll think about it. I don't want to get.
You can be a
intense.
Selena S. Pitties.
Are you proud of your pits, Robert? Do you have nice pits?
I've never focused too much on my pits. I'm more of an arm and chest boy. But I
Oh, so
haven't
you
thought
must
about
love
what's in
this
between.
aura.
Aura tries a little hard, you know? Like, yeah, we get it. You got an acceptable tricep bicep proportion, but it's not that impressive. Bruno's standing right next to you.
As Jeremy the Dark Knight says, there's very strong pick-me vibes with aura.
I feel that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pick me.
I mean,
Anyway-
the whole cast is a pick-me-ass cast.
And by pick me ass, it's the way in Australia would say pick my ass. But Nathan, let me ask you this question: pick me ass. Nathan, I don't know. I'm not a any kind of linguist or anything like that, right? But does the pirate accent come from Australia? Where does the pirate accent come from? Please speak for all of Australia.
Well, pirates are worldwide, Joe. I don't
But,
know if
but the
that.
R, be matey. Where's that from?
Nah, I don't know. The Caribbean.
What? What? Did Rihanna say I, me matey?
No, I just meant like pirates in the Caribbean.
Anyway, Robert, it's been a while since we've seen you. Last time we heard from you, you were on Just Between. On Bring It to the Runway.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to since then? Well, you were in a long-term relationship and then you broke up with your boyfriend. What has happened since then? Now that you're single,
So that's
Any
been
breaking
fun.
news?
Yeah.
No. Some reconnections, and then a lot of new connections, and then a lot of broken connections, and I think like just lots of like mini narratives. Hasn't like that's fun. It was.
Can you choose one?
Well, I could say this because my ex already heard it, but I have been for like I had a couple months where I was hooking up with one of my best friends. That was interesting. I had
It
never
didn't
done
rhyme
this
with
before.
Tristan Ashoa, right?
No, could you imagine if me and Christian hooked up though?
I'm not even
What would we
joking.
do?
I'm not even joking. And what's funny is the fuckers even sent me like videos of his getting his ass eaten and shit like that. And I'm like,
Oh, he lives for that shit.
Yeah,
I will
what's
we'll
funny-
go to warehouse parties and I'll see him be surrounded by 5 or 6 porn stars just getting railed.
yeah. And my thing is like, I find him so not in a. This is gonna sound shady. I don't mean this in a shady way. I mean it like a relative, like my brother or something like that, or my cousin. Even though there's some cousins I would do. I find him so asexual in like a familial way.
I
that
feel the
make
same
sense?
way, but I've known him since he was 7, so it feels truly familial, you know?
Yeah. I don't know why. Ever since I first met him. What about you, Nathan?
Do I get my ass railed by porn stars at a warehouse
Yeah.
party? What?
Mm-hmm.
No. What's the question there?
Oh yeah.
No, we have this party called Sexy at
Oh, I know
Universal.
about that party. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty big. No.
Have you actually been to Sexy Universal?
I've been to Universal,
This is
but not the
too
sexy
fucking hot.
party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know the question.
This is what we're gonna deal
It's
with the whole
fine.
show, Robert. I'm so sorry.
We've lost the momentum. Robert, I do want to circle back to you hooking up with your friend. Did
Oh,
that
yeah.
have any like negative impacts, or are you just now
don't-
with your friend just back to normal?
I think we're back to normal, mostly. I think there's probably some lingering feelings sometimes.
On your end or her end?
In general, I think like no one's specific feelings. Just like I said, I've never done that before. You know how gays in general always hook up
Yeah.
with their friends, and it's just a thing. Have been excluded from that, but now it's kind of a. Now I'm a part of it. Now I'm every other gay. Can you believe that?
I can.
No, I can totally believe it. Nathan, what have you been up to? I mean, we did meet the queens together, but what have you been up to?
I've just been on holidays from Christmas, New Year's, just back to work tomorrow, so I haven't really been up to much, just chilling.
Nathan,
I did try tahine.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Robert, don't spoil anything yet, Nathan. But Robert doesn't know this. During one of our, you don't listen to the show. On one of what was it, Down Under or was it All Stars?
All Stars.
Tahine came up, and he was like, "What is tahine?" And I tried to
Okay.
explain. How would you, before he tells us his taste test thing, how would you describe the flavor of tahine, Robert?
It tastes like all the different spices that the street fruit vendors put into their bags of cucumbers and
Okay.
mango.
Okay, but how would you describe that flavor?
Oh, I guess I have to be more specific. I didn't
Yeah.
realize this is a culinary podcast.
It is.
It's mildly hot and spicy, but more salty than anything.
I think
It's
it's more
just salt.
sour, but I'll go with you. Yes.
I can feel the sourness.
Yeah. Okay. So Nathan, in a weird twist, went to a New Year's Eve party where they had a big shaker of tahine. Did they have fruits with it, Nathan? What did they serve to you put it on?
So they were using that to salt the rim of spicy margarita glasses.
Yes, that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
know that's a thing, but yeah.
It's like a bad version of what a spicy rim should taste like.
We should ask Christian. But what were your thoughts on the margarita part?
Well, I wasn't having the margaritas. Then I saw the tahini and I said, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And so I did do a little bit just, off my hand, like I've watched you do 5 or 6 times. But then I said, do we have any fruits in the house?
Yeah.
And so I found a mango and I had it on a mango and it had a kick. It was a little bit, it was good. I wouldn't go out and do it like again, but it was good.
So you'll try.
But like mangoes already taste amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need a kick with the
You
mango.
know what? I'll tell you what. I see what you're saying. I will say, I'm with you on the tahini part. But what I will say where tahini shines, maybe Robert can weigh in here. If you have like a mango that's you're not totally ripened, not in the best shape, it will improve that. It will improve.
I actually do not stand mangoes.
Oh, you don't like mangoes?
I don't like mango. I'm just gonna fuck them. I can't stand them. If
Oh,
I'm
really?
getting a
What do you
fruit cup,
mean?
I just want watermelon and cucumber. That's it. When they put mango, it's just taking up space, like jicama. Who the fuck wants that?
Oh, but jicama's great with some lemon and some tahini or salt, or mixed in with other fruits for a textural thing. I would never.
I don't know what
by
jicama
itself.
is.
It's
What's
literally
jicama?
it's just water in fruit.
It's like
But
a super.
not as good as watermelon.
Imagine the inside of a coconut, but a cucumber. I really don't know how to explain it.
That
What?
sounds real.
How do you spell
kind
that?
Kind of like sugar cane, but you bite it and there's no sugar. It's just cane.
Jicama. Jicama.
Oh my god, I'm so white. I spelt it Hikama.
That's
Oh
okay.
boy.
Some
fair.
people pronounce
Alright.
it Jamaica, and I'm like, no, that's not it.
Okay, what's your opinion? Have you
Nice.
seen? Maybe they call it like Jikimari Jew in Australia. So.
I've never seen it before in my life. It looks like a potato.
Yeah,
It
you know
tastes
what?
like one too.
Speaking of, do you ever get into this yucca? What about where you following yucca, Robert?
I have one right next to me. Look.
Oh yeah,
But
look at that.
Yucca fries are a bit of an affront to my taste buds. I would much rather have potato fries. But every place likes to be trendy and healthy, and they're trying to be like post oil, so they're trying to serve yucca fries, and that shit, it's not.
And I
they're
believe
just fingers.
I
on the
believe
plate.
yucca is like really low carb or something too. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't even know what a carb is. All these years later.
Nathan, where do you
carb?
fall on all this?
I know what a carb is. I don't know what a yucca is.
God, Jesus Christ! Now,
y'all eat
where does
over
your
in
boyfriend
Australia?
fall in all this? Where does your boyfriend fall in all this? And then I want to circle back to Robert, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Where does my boyfriend fall on tahini and yucca?
Tahini, yucca, your pits, everything.
I mean, he's partial to a pit.
Okay.
He doesn't mind a little pit work. He didn't try the tahini, and I don't know if he knows what a yucca is. He probably does.
Robert, speaking of your ex-boyfriend, you guys are like circling around, sniffing around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be open, based on what you remember from the last relationship, to like a throuple?
With who?
Christian.
Your friend? No, Christian can't even be in a throuple with me and Robert on a show. You're being a throuple in a relationship.
I'm kind of open to anything. It's a broader world.
Interesting.
I've done the monogamy thing, and now I have a wider mind.
Yeah.
I should say
Okay.
that my relationship was my first long-term relationship, so I had to learn a lot.
Do you think maybe I've known other gays like this, and I could guess this from you. Do you think you're one of those? I'm sure there's a term for this, but you're one of those gays who you can't be a whore because everybody wants to take you home to mom.
There is definitely elements of that for sure, but I don't think that's really stopped me.
Because I've had friends
Stopped
who
you from
like,
being a whore. That's cool.
yeah, that's good. Well, that's why we say you spread your seed all over West Hollywood.
I don't know
So-
about West Hollywood.
Okay, East Hollywood. He was all the Armenians.
No, in NoHo.
Yeah, he was in NoHo. All right. Well, on that note, why don't we call it a day? Okay. Oh wait, bring back my girls. I usually say something here, but I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm gonna try and stop. Stream still going. Uh-oh, wait, no, now it's... Oh, no, I think it's back now. Okay. All right. Well, I'll check in a bit. Okay, here we go. Oh, big news right now. In a second, you're going to hear it. Well, not for Robert, for Nathan. Hold on, let me get this. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 15, Episode 1, titled One Night Only. Part 1. One Night Only, Part 1. My name's Joe Betance, and I am joined, as always, by two garrulous co-hosts. First, from the podcast Bravo, effing Bravo, please say...
I do know them, but I'm not going to give them the satisfaction that I do.
To Nathan Patrick Brown. Nathan, hello.
Hi, Joe. God, I'm loving this little song that you've got playing.
Yeah, what do you think of this new theme song chosen by producer Luke Stamen?
Luke, you've knocked it out of the park. It's fun. It's fresh.
Yeah. Well, I will say it's inspired by Christian Ochoa, Sugar and Spice of the show. And he's the one who's like, girl, this theme song for season 15, it's not going to be the tea for me, girl. Okay, we're going to have to pick something. And so I had Luke pick a new theme song. And he gave me several options, and a lot of them were very good, but this was the one that was my favorite. All right, moving on. And from the podcast, Bring It to the Runway, please say...
Say hello to world-renowned photographer Albert Sanchez. Hello.
To Roberto Mata.
Hey, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the time. Nathan's really loving that clip 0 there.
I would never have predicted that.
No, I would. I was like, oh, you would have predicted that?
No, I would not have, but it did remind me of my biggest grievance with the episode, which is where the fuck was Mike Ruiz?
He hasn't been on like in 10 years.
I don't care. Bring him back from the A-list studio and let the man take photos. Let him be the new pit crew member.
You're a big Mike Ruiz fan?
Oh, yeah. Like, if I decide to get on a steroid cycle, I want to look like Mr. Ruiz.
And would you do the silver hair and everything?
I mean, I'll do what my hair decides to do, really, but he gives it. Like, come on, Canadian Latinos.
Oh, he's Canadian?
I'm pretty sure, actually.
Wow. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. All right. By the way, if you're loving what you're hearing right now, Nathan is full on performing oral sex on his index finger. Where did that come from, Nathan? Why were you doing that right now?
I don't know, Joe.
Okay.
I just had a finger in my mouth. It's not that well, it sounds bad.
I haven't shown a pit yet.
Well, yet.
Let me tell you what, Robert, you show a pit and there's going to be there's going to be a fist in his mouth. Anyway, by the way, we just had a great, though, if you would understand that joke, if you listen on Patreon to Just Between Us Girls, join at the executive level to get Just Between Us Girls. But by the way, there is a ton of content. We are back with a vengeance on Patreon. We are going to have this show early, no commercials. You are going to have, I have a big announcement to make in a second. You are going to have Throwing Down is back. The Tea is back. Fat Camp is back. Just Between Us Girls back. Everything's back again. But not only that, on the free stream and also an extended version on Patreon, and this might be a turnoff to some people, we are bringing back Bring It to the Runway but what's so
but you
funny,
don't
Robert?
have to listen to it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to that. Yeah, that's the thing. If you join Patreon, you don't get Bring It to the Runway. That's the selling point. Yeah, because it'll be on the public feed, but if you have the Patreon, you won't get it. No, there'll be an extended version. But here's the big news, and I have another clip 0 here that will show it. So everybody heard Bring It to the. Well, no, a couple people heard Bring It to the Runway last year. Okay. And you might have been thinking like, oh, this Christian Ochoa, because I got to tell you right now, he's been driving me up the motherfucking wall this season. Not even this past week about this season. Whatever. Anyway, we had a season with him and Robert on Bring It to the Runway. People had very strong opinions. And I was watching Drag Race this week, and this quote resonated with the announcement I'm about to make. Listen to this quote.
You know, Mother has had to deal with a lot of children in her life. And what I've learned is you let the kids play and then you clean them up later.
Joe Betance is now going to be moderating, lead host on Bring It to the Runway. She's going to put the children, she's going to teach Mother. You know what? I actually have that. Hold on here for a second. I do have that. And I will cut this. Oh, here it is. This is what the first sound will be on Bring It to the Runway.
Mother has arrived.
And she is taking over. We're changing sort of the format. We're rebooting the format of Bring It to the Runway. Yes, we'll do some fashion, but it's also going to be about big themes that are discussed in this episode. Like for this week, and we haven't even done the episode yet, so Robert's hearing this for the first time. We're going to talk about older, more experienced gay people versus younger, less experienced gay people and the clash between them. Me being the old, tired queen, as Christian reminds me all the time, and Robert and Christian being, well, let's see, they have a little bit of time left on their youngness, but not much.
I just turned 30, so I'm an elder gay now.
Yeah, you're an elder gay. Yeah, he's in that old gays.
I have great grand gays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's where I am. I'm in the Charlie Hyde's territory. Mother Dust will be my name on the show. Anyway, so Bring It to the Runway. It's going to be a different format. It's going to basically be me beating up on Christian, Robert kind of defending him, and then Christian call me a bitch all the time. Bitch, what are you talking about? You know, there'll be a lot of that. And him telling me how sloppy I am or dirty and gross and old or whatever. The end. So Bring It to the Runway. All these things coming your way. Oh, by the way, I will do, because I want to get right to the show. Let me just tease this, because I'm sure people will bring this up. So I'll tell you what. After the break, we'll take a break. After the break, we'll have a brief, I'll even time it, discussion. We do need to have a conversation. We can't ignore it about the real gays of WeHo. But do it.
I'll tell you what the real gays of WeHo were saying.
Why?
Because I was listening.
Oh, okay.
I was at the bars last night.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You were at the bars last night. You know what you and Christian and I should do sometime is, it used to be that the Abbey, and this is very old man time, the Abbey would show the show at 5 p.m. when it was live East Coast.
My God.
And they had great happy hour deals during that. And I was like, oh, good. I'm a little drunk.
Special.
Yeah, a little drunk. And I've eaten some food, and I've watched the episode, and I'm going to go home. Anyway, so let's get right into this episode, Mama. Let's not waste any more time. This week, 16 new girls walk into the workroom in 2 groups of 8. The first group meets each other and Ariana Grande before competing in a vintage mini challenge and hitting the main stage for some choreo. Meanwhile, Group 2 makes their big debut in the workroom, recreates their own unique vintage mini challenge before hitting the main stage to gag Group 1 with their presence in a Part 1 cliffhanger. Let's start the way we always start. We'll start with our special guest, Robert Mata. Name 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not.
2 things I liked about the episode was all the callbacks. Vivacious has always been a longtime favorite of mine, so getting to see her and Ornacia gave me like my little gay, like, I just felt like a young gay again seeing them. But it does make me sad that I felt this about All Star 6 when Coco Montrese came back. I forget that these girls are aging while we haven't seen them on TV. And Vivacious was having a hard time just standing there. So
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I wrote to somebody today about how, because RuPaul said, like, walk or something like that. Show them how it's done, Mama, right? And I've actually seen Vivacious. I've seen Vivacious in the past, and she could work. And this time, it was like she just literally walked across the workroom. Because I've seen her. I've seen her do it.
A slight sway of the hips.
Yeah, you know what it was too? Like, you know when you see like an old person and what they do is it's so hard for them to walk that it's almost like they look at point B where they have to be and they just sort of like let gravity and luck and sweat take them to the other part. And that's what it kind of looked like with Vivacious.
Yeah. Oh, Vivacious.
Yeah.
But,
And what was go on with yourself.
So, and then the callbacks with the photo shoots also, which leads me to my point of what I didn't like, which I've already said. But if you're gonna have a rendezvous of all these past themes. Where the fuck is Mike Ruiz to pull it all together? I just need to see the man in a tight black shirt. Give me my gay fantasy, please.
Well, you know, Robert, on Drag Race Down Under, they don't even have a photographer. They've just got the pit crew guy holding a camera. So this was a step up.
Really hot. The Down Under one. I don't know what steroid cycle he's on.
Yeah.
But we got to see.
So you're really into steroids. Is what
Not
we're
at
taking
all,
it.
But I decided at some point to stop feeling bad about my body because I realized that everyone in West Hollywood is on steroids, and therefore I don't have any ground on which to compare myself to them. It's a helpful mentality to stay on.
It's funny that you say that because I think I didn't realize it, but one of the big losses for me personally during the pandemic was the gay bar Fault Line. You remember
Fault Line.
Yeah.
That feels like a throwback. Like Bar 11.
Yeah. And Fault Line was around, and it's on the east side of Los Angeles. And it was there. If I go to West Hollywood, I'm just going to feel all the body dysmorphia. But when I went to Fault Line, I would be running from people. They would be chasing me around. I was so hot at Fault Line, right? And
This
closed.
should be the Real Gays of WeHo reboot. Just you two talking about Fault Line.
I'm going to tell you.
Like Ruin Michelle talking about the spotlight or whatever.
Or like Peanuts or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you're right, Nathan. The Real Gays of West Hollywood should be like 3 Mexican guys talking about going to Tempo in 2010.
Fuck, I want to go to Tempo so bad.
I'll go to Tempo with you.
Okay, work. Me, you, and Christian need to go for sure.
Yes. And then Christian will get railed by 3 Mexican DL
Exactly.
singers.
Nathan, you can fly out.
Yeah, I'll fly out.
With his pits. All right, Nathan, what about you? What are 2 things you liked about the episode and 1 thing you did not?
Super similar to you, Robert. So one thing I liked was the return of Ornacia and just how they made that Ariana's reveal, and the fact that she did it the exact same that Vivacious did, but like with a skirt with the same pattern. I just like really ate that shit up. And then all the callbacks with the mini challenges. I love to see a good pit crew showing, and they're classics for a reason. So I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was a good mix of like introducing the new queens with legacy content, which I liked. And the thing I did not, it seems like I might be going into your Bring It to the Runway theme, but I do not like this TikTokification of the casting for Drag Race. Like, what made me cringe was when 3 or 4 of the queens were like, oh, my biggest achievement, the thing I'm most proudest of is going viral on TikTok. And I was like, ugh. And it's like, we've got people who haven't even performed in bars. And like, I think it's interesting. It provides an interesting dynamic as long as we've got the older queens to balance it out. But like in future seasons, if they're just all TikTok queens, I think it might be insufferable.
Interesting. For me, I like that there was a nice twist on the format. Even though it totally fucked up and gummed up the works of what we were going to do, I was like, okay, this is interesting. They've played with it a little bit. Something different. Okay. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention this. And I know this is controversial in the world of Reddit. I'm going to tie this in with this. As a person who covers RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm so fucking happy that they've cut these episodes down to 1 hour.
Oh, thank God.
Make it shorter.
Yeah. Send me an email.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. The bloat of season 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
So we got a big 2 hour, but that was 2 episodes, and we're gonna have 1 hour. Granted, this will lead into our after break conversation. But you know what? During the Real Gays of WeHo, or the Real Friends of WeHo, this is when we can go to the bathroom, do a line of coke, scrub our pits, eat some dinner, and then. But by the way, Untucked to me is not appointment viewing. So like, I'll just DVR Untucked and watch it later.
If that, honestly, I don't think I ever even watched season 14's.
Yeah,
I watched this one, and the first Untucked was just the queens arriving to do their workroom entrances. The whole episode, just one by one, they're like, I'm excited. And I said, I can't watch this. And then the second one was the traditional Untucked, which wasn't that interesting.
That makes sense because on the TV guide or whatever you call it, it said right after the show was like Untucked Part 2, and then that was followed by Untucked Part 1, which made no sense. All right.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked, thank God someone motherfucking went home this season.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy to see someone go home.
Same.
For reals.
I was glad it was her, too, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Oh, we're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
Where to find his name there? And then the thing I didn't like, and this might be controversial. I literally cannot stand this Sugar and Spice.
Don't.
I want them to drown.
I thought they were
I'll just leave it there. No, you did not.
I kind of did, actually.
Robert,
you
what
didn't.
would you say to somebody who said they really give off a lot of Christian Ochoa energy?
I'd say that they're probably unbearable for the general population, but I would find humor in their stupidity.
Interesting political
Not a
answer.
read
That.
at Christian specifically, just the vibe.
Well, we'll get to it. I have a lot of things to say about
we're
that
getting
and
to a
Christian.
lot.
No, and Christian specifically, and it's not a negative thing. It's just
I think the good thing about Christian, like in Christian's defense, is he's one person. Sugar and Spice are a double. And that's just like, oof.
Can you imagine 2 Christians?
Modesto couldn't have handled it.
No, I couldn't.
The multiverse couldn't have handled it.
Yeah.
It would have imploded on itself.
All right, so what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the workroom entrances. We're going to talk about the mini challenge, all that. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back and do it all over again with workroom entrances part 2, blah, 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 blah. So let's go with the workroom entrances. We'll buzz through these. First up, Irene Dubois. We are actually going to start with Robert because he seemed to have very strong opinions about Irene Dubois. Irene Dubois, she's from Seattle. She's the one that's sisters with Bosco. What were your thoughts here?
Do you remember in season 9 when Eureka came into the workroom and seemed to have prepared reads for the girls and just sort of commandeered screen time in that way, and everyone was sort of bothered by it? Irene was playing the same game. And I guess I understand that, but if you're the first person into the workroom, you're getting screen time. You don't have to angle for the camera every single minute and every single conversation time.
Yeah, what do you feel about that,
That's
Nathan?
it.
Yeah, I agree. But I did enjoy half of what she was saying. Like, I like her being shady, but then, like with the 40 inches or whatever, like that was funny. But then when she's like, "Oh, girl, you're doing the most," I'm like, well, that's kind of a canned line. So I see where you're coming from. But I did find it funny, but I hate that look and the different sized eye contacts. I couldn't with that. That really made my skin crawl for some reason.
But she's an alien. She's so weird and quirky and unique and one of a kind.
Yeah. She looks like everyone in Seattle. But that's the thing with Seattle, is that like we're all so different, but we look exactly the same. It didn't bother me. This moment didn't bother me so much, and I understand the logic, but it seemed too soon. You don't know these fucking. They're like, we're drag queens. We read each other. I'm like, yeah, but you don't know them. Like, imagine, Robert, if you invited me to your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just walk in. Right now, I just walk into your house and I see your ex there because he's there, right?
Yeah, he's sitting on the bed.
Yeah. And what if I just walked in and I was like, "Hey, Ethan, how's Robert's ass taste? You're gonna fuck him?" Wouldn't he be like? Wouldn't he be like,
"Who go down very well"?
Yeah, well, he would. But let me tell you this: he would be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Right? You have to warm up to some people. Like the bitch walks in and she's reading about how long her hair is. Like. The hair comment, okay, I get it, but save that for a confessional, Mama. Why?
Oh
is
no,
that
the hair comment was hilarious.
I
It
think
was
it's probably the only memorable quote from the episode. The 40 inches, I think, is going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
40 centimeters, I would believe, but 40 inches? Come on.
We don't do metric here. All right, next we had Lux Noir London come in. Your thoughts, Nathan, on Lux Noir London?
I kind of fell in love with her with just how delusional and dopey she was, and I just found her really endearing.
Robert?
Just a bimbo, yo. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I love when someone's confidently dumb. Like, you do that shit, girl. Just be dumb. And put on another one of those leather daddy hats. She must have a whole fucking rainbow of those things. What is it with gays and hats?
Wait. Okay. I hear a Seinfeld routine coming. Right? All these gays! They're wearing all the hats! What's going on?
Okay, so the confessional gays, when they're in their confessionals, they're always wearing those fucking wide brim hats. There's one every season. think this year it's Robin Fierce. I can't stand those hats. They make my skin crawl like the contacts made Nathan's skin crawl. I can't look
I
at
feel like there's a drag explanation for it, or
Well,
a
in general, I'd
continuity
just be like,
explanation
well,
for it.
They're balding. But that's fine. Be bald.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, really? I thought it. I take it more at. It could be balding, but I took it more as like you have to have the same look in the confessional every time, so it makes their life easier. They don't have to worry about the hair length and blah blah blah. Blah. Remember when Laganja
That's
had the
probably
curl that
true.
was
Oh, I hated that.
growing
curl.
and growing? It's like they're
Girl
like, oh
cracks
well,
me up.
yeah. These legs are everything. So, mama. But I do talk like this. I do talk like this. My friends are around.
This is how you talk.
And well, we need. See, speaking of hats, we need to get Robert a little sombrero.
I would
hate
be
it.
down with the little sombrero, to be honest with you. I just don't want to see a fucking wide-brimmed hat on a girl ever again. I don't want to see it.
I'm telling you, you got to go to. Speaking of North Hollywood, on Lancashire to the Ha Ha Cafe and workshop this gay Jerry Seinfeld bit that you're doing. Don't you have enough with the hat? You have the berets.
I can't
You know?
stand it. And Rue and Michelle always being like, does anyone still wear a hat? And I'm like, yes, bitch, do
Okay.
you watch your own show? Everyone wears a
do.
fucking hat.
Wait, do you really not get that reference?
I get the reference, of course.
Okay.
But, like, I'm just saying that they say it a lot.
They say a lot of things a lot.
I know. I don't want to hear every hole is a goal ever again. I'm tangenting. I'm sorry.
Oh, have you listened to the show, Tamar? Anyway, Lux, my thing is, like, she's fine, but we've seen this type before, right? We've seen this girl that they went to the Naomi Campbell store, and we bought this and this and this, and we bought this hat and all that, and yeah, we've seen it before, like, more like, lol, me to sleep. I'm going to work on that one. All right, next. I feel like I have a lot to say about this. We have Aura. I don't have her whole name here, but we have Aura.
Mayari.
Aura, I have it right here. Aura Mayari. Thank you. I do have it right here. Aura Mayari. She came in and says, "Do you feel that aura? I bet you do." Let's go to Robert Mata here. Your thoughts on Aura Mayari?
I have very few of them, apart from the fact that, like, we get it. You have arms. So does everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not everyone else. Most people have arms.
Yeah.
We get it. But she said she's a dancer, so we'll see what she can do when it's time to actually dance. My eyes kind of glaze over during the original lip sync numbers, so I can't remember hers. It all blurred together.
They're all lip sync numbers. Nathan, what about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, she seems more memorable as a boy than as an actual drag queen. So I think she's kind of filler.
Very good point. More like Bora. I'm going to work at every one of these drag queens. They're going to have a name.
I'll see you in the NoHo, the haha bar.
Oh, I'll be there
More
right
like
before you.
Aura less Ari. Am I right?
What?
I don't even know. Now, let me tell you this. My father fucked Marlena Dietrich, but also she is a cute boy. I will give her that. She is a cute boy. But here's the deal. If you have to call yourself the trade of the season, you're not the trade of the season. Once she
Wow.
said that, she wasn't the trade of the season. Here's the other thing, too.
You de-traded her?
I de-traded her, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to trade her out.
Ooh.
The bicep thing the first time, okay, it's cute. But she did it like 2 or 3 more times talking about her arms. I'm like, okay, now, again, same thing with, stop it. We get it. We know. We're fucking faggots. We have eyes, right?
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I could see her just flexing
Well,
in
look,
confessional.
you're fucking masturbating to anyone's armpit, so we don't care, right?
Fair enough.
But my favorite quote from Aura is when she walks in. And I don't know, it didn't seem like a cut. It seemed like it was a one shot. But she goes, "I'm a performer. What are you guys excited about?" It was like really that. She went, it really was. And then they didn't cut away. They went,
Yeah.
"I'm a performer. What are you guys excited about?" I'm like, that was a hard left.
I love gays and their nonsense. It's what did Alyssa Hunter say last season? Someone was like, "Hi, I'm whatever," and she was like, "Hi, I'm from Puerto Rico." And I was like, "What? What?
All right, next we have in Marsha. She came in and said, "Ow, my nose." Your thoughts, Nathan, on Marsha?
It's sad, and it just was a bit drab. And when she's like, "Oh, I'm a Broadway performer," I was wondering, like, what show do you reckon she was in? Do you reckon she was like swing ensemble for Mrs. Doubtfire or something shit? Like, what do you think?
There is a Broadway IMDb type list. I don't know what it's called, and we'd have to go to Wikipedia, get her real boy name, right?
Okay.
And then look that up. But I bet you, yeah, she went to a performance of Hamilton, and now she's a Broadway performer.
Went to one. Yeah.
Yeah, she went to one. And by the way, she did
Rosé and Blair St.
the
Clair.
lottery ticket one, where you got the lottery. She didn't even buy. She paid $20, and she sat next to an old couple from Hoboken. Anyway, your thoughts, Robert, on Marsha.
I feel like I'm one of the few gays who grew up, like, maybe not grew up, but I watched Glee and I actually enjoyed Rachel Berry. So therefore, I actually kind of enjoy the Marsha isms so far. It can definitely be grating because I was not a Rosé fan. I was not a Blair St. Clair fan. I was definitely not an Ella Day fan. But Marsha doesn't seem as canned as those ones did.
Okay.
And I appreciate it. I mean, granted, we've seen that plaid skirt 30 billion times. It was cute. I didn't feel sad. I'm sad that Nathan thought it was sad.
It was sad. That tiny little bandage on her nose, like do a prosthetic broken nose or something.
That'd be good.
Look, here's the deal. She lost me the second she said she had a BFA in musical theater. And
You
I
get
was
the
right.
reference.
No, I think she really does.
No, for sure. But I think what you get what she was referencing with.
No, I don't. What was you referencing?
There was a viral tweet last year about the archetype of failed actors turning into drag queens and effectively making fun of the fact that they weaponize their BFA.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
causes
Oh, she
all
did reference that.
discourse.
Yes, she did reference that later. But she does mention in her confessional she has a BFA in musical theater. And I was like, yeah, they explained that she's such a musical theater kid. You know what she reminds me of? Actually, I can't remember his name. I follow him on Instagram, some sort of like Instagram gay, and all he does is Instagram videos making fun of musical theater gays. But even though he admittedly is one of them, I think it's like Joseph Tyler Ellis or something like that, or something along those lines.
That's such a theater kid name.
I know. You know, I've talked about this before. One of the most horrifying videos that I've ever seen. I've talked about this 100 times, Robert. These people stuck in an airport. Their flights canceled. And the cast of The Lion King is at the airport.
Word.
And they start singing songs from The Lion King. If I would have been there, I would have called in the bomb threat.
Stop. I thought it was magical.
Are you kidding me with it? Oh, I forgot Nathan's a theater
I loved
guy.
it. Did you see the one where both the Lion King cast and the Aladdin cast were grounded? So they did like a mashup sing-off.
Oh,
it was wonderful.
my God. The Disney gays must have gone wet. That's a bit much. I'd be down for the Lion King cast, though. If it was like the cast.
Oh,
of
you draw the
Annie,
line at
I would-
Aladdin?
If it. It's never been my musical, I gotta say. I appreciate my brown. Just like that particular musical.
Musical theater.
I'd call in a
gays.
bomb threat for Chicago, too. Sorry, Jinx.
I'm gonna to be honest with you. Most musicals, if they started singing, there are musicals I really like. If they started singing songs from the musical, I don't know what I would do. I would go crazy. I don't want to hear it. And by the way, I did musical theater in high school. Okay, I took musical theater classes in college.
Some translate better. Like you don't want to be in an airport hearing someone sing like Carousel.
I don't want to be at an airport and hear people singing. I don't
wanna hear
care.
anything
Yeah,
at the
I don't want to hear singing. I just don't want to hear singing. But it's musical theater gay. You know, I saw this cartoon from the New Yorker, and the cartoon is a restaurant in hell. So it's a restaurant with flames, and Satan is talking to a waiter, and he said it's the same as on Earth, but the customers are all musical theater kids. And I got it. I got it. All right. Next we have Anitra. Give me your thoughts here, Robert, on Anitra.
Anitra looks sick. I thought maybe this is kind of rude, but I felt like her nose wasn't as pronounced as a boy, but she's doing something with her makeup that makes her nose the main feature of her face, which doesn't seem correct. But I think she's a sick performer, and I thought she looked pretty good. Apart from the headpiece, looked a little bit janky, actually, now that I look back on it in my mind's eye.
All right, Nathan.
I hated this look, and she was one of the ones from the Meet the Queens that I thought would go out like first or second. And she's proved me wrong since with the talent show. Like now I love her, but when she walked into the workroom, I was like, "But next."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how much? Yes, we're not at the talent show. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But I will say that the workroom look, I wasn't a big fan of. But it's funny, and it's continued on to the next episode. But she gives very strong in her mug is a very strong detox vibe. Like there's a lot of detox in her mug. I don't know if it's the makeup. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of detox there.
It's
All right. Next we have Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. Your thoughts here, Nathan Brown.
I appreciated this look. I loved the wig being styled as like fox ears. It's just the type of drag that I can get on board with.
Yeah, Robert.
I can't believe it took them 15 seasons to get a Miami girl on. Actually, I feel like there's just way too many freaking Instagram videos of all those Miami girls at the boozy brunches throwing down, and Malaysia's a good one to have. I liked her.
Well, when I think of drag cities, I think of like Connecticut, like that, not
So
Miami.
did the casting producers.
Which is a
clearly.
state. But you know, you asshole for not knowing everything about America.
The more you know.
Yeah, but you know what though? There are a lot of cities, many cities that are bigger than Connecticut. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox. I like her. No, but I don't have a lot of thoughts on her because you know, honestly, for this season, and we'll see it in the next cast, there are a lot of big girls on this season with big personalities, and she has a big personality, but she kind of got lost this episode among the Selena Estides and the Mistress Isabel Brooks. She sort of fell by the wayside, which might be a good thing strategy-wise at this stage in the game. Next, we have Princess Poppy. Your thoughts here, Roberto. Wait, did you go first last time, Robert? Yeah, Nathan, why don't we start with you? No, it's okay. We'll start with you, Nathan.
Okay, I think Princess Poppy's look was lame. I thought, are we really dressing up as like Twister Mats in the year of our Lord 2023? Like, I just don't know why we're doing that. And she says her big joke is that she's homophobic. And I'm like, okay, well, same. So that I liked.
Yeah. Well, look, here's the deal. Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Go ahead.
I just thought she was a bit of a void of charisma.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Ouch.
I'm not even saying that she's just unt. I just didn't see any charisma, period. Like, in drag, out of drag, princess, what? Poppy, who? No.
Yeah.
And I hate to hate on a San Francisco girl because they deserve better on the show.
Oh, here's the deal. I didn't know she was from San Francisco. One, again, she's another one that gets lost. No charisma, right? The other thing, too, is she's the first one we've seen so far who's like, I was viral on TikTok. And we're like, girl.
What do you think Plastique is doing when she hears that?
Yeah, good point. But you know what they might say is like, she's an Instagram queen. I'm a TikTok queen. I think there's a subtle like youth thing there. I think there's like a whole we're young.
Queen.
Yeah.
And Mimi on First is the Facebook queen.
I was
Vivacious is like a cave queen.
Yeah.
Cave
I was a town square queen. I sat in the corner, rang a bell.
Ring a bell saying
Ring
soju sucks.
Yeah. Oh, just wait till we get about the real
Fuck
Candy
Lion
Muse.
King.
Just wait till we talk about this Todrick Hall on this Real Friends of WeHo. Thank you. Speaking of TikTok, I need to get that song. You know the one that goes dun 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 dun. Whenever people say what they think are shady things.
I don't do the TikTok thing.
Oh, sorry, you're not young like me.
Twice.
I'm super young.
I heard that Ono song twice, and I said, "Fuck no, I'm not doing this. I can't."
You know what's so funny? I haven't watched this White Lotus yet, right? But I'm one of these people that if you tell me to watch something, I will not watch it. You do not ever tell me to watch something, because if you do, I will not watch it. And so now, I was actually intrigued by by White Lotus, right? But now everything's talking about this White Lotus theme song. I'm like, fuck that show. I'll never watch it now because everyone's talking about the theme song. What I will watch is this Megan that's coming out this weekend.
Oh, that looks fun.
And what I love is that the gays are so excited, so much more excited about this movie than this Bros.
Bros was such a terrible
It's
script.
so funny.
I've been saying it for years. I read it years ago. A friend at Universal sent it to me, and I was like, I cannot fucking believe that Billy Eichner, of all people, gets to put this trash out like, and
Well, we both know. We both know White. He can do that.
well, regardless, there are better looking, better, more
Yes.
compelling white gays to highlight than
Yes,
Billy
but they're-
fucking Eichner.
This goes back to this fucking tantric hall. Is there something about, you know, the
obsessed with the real fans
zeitgeist
of
of
WeHo.
Hollywood that they pick somebody, right? And they go, we want to make this person a thing. Why are they still trying to make Todrick Hall a fucking thing? I don't get it. Same thing
He
with
must
this
have
Billy
dirt.
Eichner. Thank you.
Is Todrick Hall a nepo baby? We need to see the Hall family tree.
I don't know what his story is. Sasha, he's a YouTube queen though, isn't he? Sasha
Yeah, he did-
Colby.
yeah.
Your thoughts here, Robert Mata.
I'm just full of controversial opinions today, but I have this thesis that comedians are rarely funny. They just sort of have this reputation for being funny, and so anything that comes out of their mouth tends to make people laugh due to expectation. And I think Sasha Colby is absolutely a legend. Like, I was watching her when I was in college. Like, and that was, 20 years. No, that wasn't 20 years ago. It was a while ago. And she is a legend, but I don't think she did anything explicitly mother this episode.
Yeah.
Other than just be herself, which is awesome, but was it that awesome, or was it just reputation?
Yeah. What do you think here, Nathan?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, Robert. Like, she kind of gagged me because everyone else was gagged. And yeah, I sort of got swept into the Sasha Colby of all when she walked out, and I loved it. I thought it was a good first impression, but I can see how that's sort of like the drag that's been at the back of the closet for 10 years.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm in between the two of you, and I'll tell you why. I just said, and I didn't even know we were talking about this right now. I just said, if you tell me to like something or watch something, I will, just there's something about me, I will automatically not because you told me to. And so everybody was like, oh, the Sasha Colby I'm living. So I was in my brain gearing up to hate her. Right. And I wasn't gagged when she first walked out. I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Does Brooklyn Heights also won Miss Continental? And so did this
So did
Naysha Lopez. Right.
Wow.
And we know I can't stand this Brooklyn Heights. Anyway, I'm going to tell you something. This Sasha Colby won me over with how she wasn't putting on the airs and she wasn't trying to be mother. Her confidence came through and I go, she won me over because she
Her smile
wasn't
is
this. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. She knows these bitches know I'm a legend. I don't have to fucking tell them. And I thought it was great. I was a big Sasha Colby fan. All right. So then next, the big gag is and a person dressed as Ornacia comes out into the workroom. And what I love is that these queens are such fans is that some of them are even mimicking the lines that the queens in season 6 said as Ornacia was struggling with her
Let us
zipper.
see.
Yeah. And so she takes up the zipper and it's Ariana Grande. The one thing I will say, and maybe this is cutting because they didn't want to see, I think if I was there, I'm sure they were not expecting Ariana Grande, and she unzipped it, there would be a beat or two going like, and
that's
then
what I thought too, Joe. That's why I think they put Marsha in this group. They intentionally put a super fan of Ariana there just so someone would recognize her.
Yeah, I think there would be a beat where they would be like, what? Like they actually showed it with Gaga. With Gaga, but Gaga wasn't wearing an Ornacia mask. Where they were like, oh, then they realized it, which I think they robbed us of the magic of them actually realizing and just jumping to it, you know. And but I thought it was fierce. I thought it was great. I thought Ariana Grande was great. What did you think there, Nathan Brown?
Yeah, I loved it. I preferred this reveal to like the Miley shenanigans that we've had. So I enjoyed.
Oh yeah. What about you, Robert?
The reveal was fun. I was just a bit sad that it seems like Ornacia's falling on hard times because she didn't look glam. Where is the glamour at DragCon?
Yeah,
Ornacia
that is
wasn't
true.
giving it.
That is true. I will agree with that. All right. RuPaul entered the workroom to reveal the first mini challenge, a tribute to Drag Race's first photo shoot. The girls serve looks at a car wash while getting sprayed down with hoses. Things get wet and wild, but Irene Dubois is named the winner of the mini challenge. Meanwhile, in the workroom, the queens de-drag and get to know each other. Irene questions Lux's wig length, and Lux calls out Irene's catty vibe. Let's start with you, Nathan Patrick Brown. your thoughts here on the mini challenge, on what happened in the workroom. Give us the tea. Give us the details. Give us your
Okay.
thoughts.
I loved it. And what I love about these mini challenges for the first episodes is that the queens still don't get it. Like, it's not actually about taking a pretty photo. It's about you getting dumped on and being funny and interacting with Rue. So some of them did really well, and then others are just like flopping so hard, which like I loved seeing how badly Anitra did with like the eyelash that was on the pit crew guy's thigh.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. And I thought people like Irene, who were being chatty with Rue, sort of shined more than the others.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Robert?
I just the photo shoots in general could be more fun. Even I felt like everyone was a bit stiff, sort of like Nathan sort of suggested that.
Yeah.
You're getting sprayed with water. It's a campy ass show. Do something silly. Be fun.
Yeah.
No one like, yeah, it's hot to be hot, but like,
Yeah.
you have you walked in hot. Now be interesting.
Yes.
Well, why wouldn't you wear something where because it's more often than not, there's some sort of photo shoot where they're going to fuck with you.
Yeah.
It has been a while, but I did really feel for Malaysia when she said, fuck my ostrich feathers and my perfectly coiffed hair, and all of that were just sopping wet, which,
Yeah.
I mean, better that than getting paint on it, I guess, but still.
Yeah. Now back in the workroom, I know we discussed this a little bit, but I want to revisit it. Irene still is coming for Lux and is like, your hair is not 40 inches. You know, and they're kind of going at it. What were your thoughts here on that, Nathan and Robert?
It's funny because it's not 40 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you how many inches do you think that is?
28 at most. I think there was this Reddit post that they calculated how tall what's her name, Lux Noir London would have to be to like make that 40 inches, and I think she would have to be like 7'8" or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like based on the length, and that itty bitty is not 7'8". She looks like she's 4'7".
Yeah. All right. Well, also there's a part where somebody talks about they're talking about the girls who are there, and they're saying, you know, it's a great thing that there's no negative energy coming from these girls. And Lux goes, well, there is for Irene, right? And what did you think of this? Do you think Irene was giving negative energy? She kind of plays as like where I come from, the drag queen sort of play with each other. What do you think?
I think you nailed it earlier, Joe, when you said you've got to know the person before you do the shave.
Yeah.
So she went a bit too soon.
What would your boyfriend say, Nathan, if I just went in and started? I'm not allowed to say what I would say, but if I started saying the things I'm not allowed to say.
He'd be like, who the fuck does Joe think he is?
Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, Robert. Wait, where is Nathan in relationship to where you see him, Robert? Is he on your? Where is he?
He's on my right.
So, like, am I pointing to the right thing?
No, you're pointing at me. Yes.
That was a visual joke for everybody, but I think people in the know get it. All right. The choreo session. After RuPaul announces the Maxi Challenge, the queens get to work on their choreo. Aura, Sasha, and Marsha volunteer to lead the rehearsal. Sasha backs away pretty early on and lets Marsha and Aura catfight over who will have the final say in the movement. Let's start with you, Robert. Your thoughts on this whole choreo session with Marsha, and Aura going at it.
I gotta be real with you, Joe. I went to get
Yeah.
a drink and I fast forwarded it. I don't do choreo scenes anymore.
Okay, Nathan.
I don't do the rehearsals. No.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
good
I
to
think
know.
this is where it could have been cut back a bit, because ultimately we all know they do this group number and it means nothing. It has no bearing on the actual judging. So who cares? Who choreographs it isn't important unless you're
Yeah.
like the team leader on The Apprentice, you know? So just take a step back and relax. And because like the girls were pretty, I appreciated how they were like, oh, it's obviously a split premiere. Like they didn't pretend to be gooped by that.
Yeah.
But then they changed and were like all frantic about the choreography, being like, oh no, we got to do this. And it's like, just chill.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Let me tell you something. Why couldn't those two queens just be like, we'll co-choreograph it? We'll just do it together. We'll be the choreographers. We'll work it out. We'll agree, and then we'll tell you what it is. But they were like, no, it's going to be me, right?
Yeah.
which is honestly very BFA musical theater. The next thing I'm going to say, and I picked up on this, again, a lesson for the children who don't remember. Did you ever watch this Brady Bunch, Robert?
I've seen clips.
Okay. So in the show, Marsha Brady is the pretty popular girl, the oldest sister. And there's the baby, Cindy. She doesn't come up in the show at all. But Jan, and classically character-wise, is very much the middle child. And even the phrase Marsha, Marsha, Marsha comes from an episode where Jan is like, why does everyone pay attention to Marsha? Marsha? It's always Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. And, you know, like, why does no one pay attention to her? In this scene, and I think it's unironic, this Marsha, Marsha, Marsha is very much, well, I guess no one listens to Marsha. I guess it's all about Aura. And I'm like, does she not get that that's not a Marsha thing to say? That's a Jan thing to say. She's a Jan, not a Marsha, Marsha, Marsha.
She's a Jan.
She's a Jan,
I
Jan,
can't
Jan.
stand the Jan cinematic universe.
No, neither can I. So Marsha so far, she's gonna have to prove. Marsha Brady would just go in there and fucking throw some beads on the floor to Aura and just fucking punch the bitch out. Thank you. I think Marsha is an aspirational name. All right.
Lux Noir London.
Yeah, exactly. Now at this point, this is when the episode then takes a break, and we're gonna take a break. And then they're like, little do they know. And then they've been cleaning the workroom, clearing it out. And then they're bringing in the 8 other girls. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Real Friends of WeHo when we're back right after this. Does anyone need to do anything here?
Nope.
All right. We are back. Now, before we are going to get into the other queens. We're going to buzz right through that. But before we do, Robert, we'll go to you second because you said you heard the reaction at the bars yesterday in West Hollywood. Nathan, what are your thoughts just looking at it, at this Real Friends of WeHo show?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I saw the poster and I went, ugh. I don't know why Todrick's there. And I don't know why this... Was it Brad? I don't know why he's there. I'd rather if it were just fresh finds. But I feel like we've done this before with like the Fire Island show and everything.
A-list and there was one on like, wasn't it on like Roku or something like that? What was that one that just came out? They had a West Hollywood one that just came out like on one of like the Roku channels or something.
Vanjie Finds Love.
Vanjie Finds Love. Yeah, go ahead. So will you be watching, Nathan?
I might dip my toe into the waters. I might.
This is the problem.
Just gonna like download it illegally on the internet and not give that network any money. Like it's fine.
Okay, yeah. Robert.
First
of all, what's your thought, and then tell me what everybody else was saying.
So my thought is very much I have the same disgust that most people do, and I really do think we need random gays who aren't so invested in being an influencer gay to like get some screen time, because those are usually the ones who gays could probably bear watching. Granted, how are you ever gonna like diamonds in a rough, you know? Regardless, I have no interest in watching any of it. I don't like any of them fools. I don't care. I see enough of West Hollywood. I don't need it. But when I was at the bars in WeHo, I was reminded and can never forget that, somewhat self-awarely, every WeHo gay is convinced that they're not that WeHo gay, you know? So when the commercial came on,
that's true.
Everyone was booing as loud as they could. It was like performative shit. Like they were like, I need everyone in high tops to know that I am not a fan of those gays on TV. And it probably came on commercial 3 times, and every time it was a loud chorus of boos. Like
that's refreshing to hear, at least.
Yeah, no, I mean at least everyone was making it known. So the gays aren't happy. They are not happy.
I need to find out who I know at MTV, which we actually know some people. And I want to find out who greenlit this show. I'm going to tell you, and who was involved, the executives who involved in the casting and everything like that. You know, I know gays say this all the time, but I'm not saying this to be funny or ironic. Whoever cast this show is so fucking homophobic, right? Hear me out, because what I'm saying, it reflects how they see us, and what they think we want to see. What would ever make them think that I want to see Todrick Hall do anything but go to jail? Right?
Yeah.
Todrick, what a
Maybe
horrible.
he'll be the Jen Shaw.
Yeah, but that, you know what's so funny is I actually talked to someone in casting, and he's part of the problem, and he's a gay. So I said to him, I go, why would they cast these people? And he goes, I get it. He didn't. I mean, he's not going to see the show, but he's like, I get it because they already have a following. And I go, but the original Housewives show, the Orange County, they weren't famous. The product, the property was the star.
Yeah.
That's why they can like switch them in and out. You know. I know now the Beverly Hills, they had some fame, but that's the only... Well, you know what, Nathan? That's right. You're the Bravo effing Bravo. You might know this. How many of these housewives have fame before?
Not that many. And the thing is, they look for a friendship network rather than just a bunch of individuals that they can group. They want to have established relationships because that's where the drama comes from. That's where it's good. And like one thing on the casting, I did see that is it Chris Salvatore or something like that? He filmed a few episodes and then they got rid of him because, well, this is what he's saying, because some of them didn't want to film with people who had an OnlyFans. And I said, well, why wouldn't you cast like 6 or 7 OnlyFans creators? I'd much rather watch them.
Oh my God.
Well, you could just pay for their subscriptions.
Yeah.
That's true.
I have a Chris Salvatore thing to say.
Oh, what's your Chris Salvatore thing?
I think that it's absurd that he would think that people are actually that people actually would not cast you in a show or not film with you just because you have an OnlyFans. Obviously, there's more going on. But secondary to that, I just can't stand the Twitter personality who's like, I know something you don't know. Like it's like a very frustrating social media phenomenon. Like how desperate do you have to be for relevance that you're going to tease tea about this show?
Oh yeah, about this show, because the drag race girls do it all the time.
No,
but you're talking about this show.
Annoying. I mean specifically, what is this pick me gay trying to buzz or create buzz around? Like it's like the lowest hanging fruit on the lowest hanging fruit on the lowest hanging fruit. It's bruised on the ground.
I am telling you, they should really. I'm not even being funny, Nathan. Shut the fuck up. I'm not even telling a joke. If they did a Real Friends of Cholo, okay, and it was me, Mata, Christian, few more of his faggoty friends, Selena S. Titties, my cousin Virgil, right?
Yolanda.
This is like, yeah. If they did that, right? The drag queen quesadilla, okay. If we got all these Mexican queens, all right, and the fucking just drama. Let me tell you this, and thank God my cousin doesn't listen. And this is actually very sad, very R.I.P. Right? He called me the he called me the day. He goes like, "Oh my God, one of my friends died." Right? I'm not gonna get into it. Right? I heard how he died. I'm like, that's what be on the show, right?
This is the show.
I would call. I should go, hey, Bravo, listen to this. One of my cousin's friends died. You have a whole show here, right?
It honestly sounds more substantive than hearing Brad Goreski whine about having to be a role model for young gays.
Yeah, but can't you imagine that like one of the final episode would be, you know how they would have like isn't there like a big dinner at the end, Nathan? And the drama?
Oh yeah.
On our show, The Real Friends of Cholo, right? The drama I would take them on a taco tour. And the drama would happen on the taco tour. And they'd be throwing tacos at each other and like aguas frescas would splash in the face.
Gorgeous. It'd be like holy.
Yeah. And there'd be people be throwing chanclas at each other. It'd be a whole thing. Do you wear chanclas, Robert?
They've never been my style, I gotta say.
They've never been my style. I'm not a big fan of like exposed feet and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
no, I don't want to hurt my toes.
Yeah, but the the Mexican faggots, man. They love their chanclas, and that would be thrown, Nathan.
We need to workshop your title.
We call
I
them
think the real
thongs.
cholos of. Just fine.
What do you think of In the Boyle Heights? Thank you. All right, let's talk now. Let's go into the next batch here. The Workroom Entrances Part 2. Wait, before on, are you gonna watch the show, Robert? Nathan? Oh, Nathan, you're gonna illegally use down. No. I can't. My blood pressure will go up. I'll have a stroke. This Todrick Hall and seen him and like, why is he doing things? All right. Very interested to see this thought on this. The first person in on this round 2 is Selena Estides. Now, let's start with you, Robert. What were your thoughts here on Selena Estides?
It's fun to see some chola drag. We don't see too much of it. It felt a bit actually like Landon Sider was there instead, doing a drag king, but I still lived. I do think that Selena Estides needs to learn a different word other than quinceañera. She said that shit like 15 times herself.
Yeah.
But
well, that was the big joke. She's like, I'm on season 15. It's the quinceañera. Exactly. For those of you that don't know, is in very Mexican style, their sort of debutante ball is called the quinceañera. Have you ever been in a quinceañera there, Robert?
Of course. Look at me.
Yeah. And it's their 15th birthday. They have it's not almost. Sometimes it very much is the size of like a wedding. And there's like a whole...
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. I should have one when I turn 50. I should have like a quinceañera. I don't know what is 50 in Spanish. I don't even know.
Isn't it? I don't speak Spanish, Joe.
I don't either.
Fuck.
I
can hear Christian yelling at us from.
I know.
Far. It's like,
I know.
It's like a very light whistle.
Yeah. What would be? Can someone in the chat room tell me what the 50 is in Spanish?
Is it cincuenta?
What did you just fucking call me?
Wait. Ethan, what is 50 in Spanish? Cincuenta.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have a cincuentañera.
Great.
Will you come to my cincuentañera there, Robert?
Neta, I'd come. I will come as Tia Beta.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Tia Beta. Okay. All right. Selena's titties. Nathan, your thoughts?
Fantastic. Love her. No notes.
I'm gonna tell you something. I found her annoying.
Oh.
So annoying on this Meet the Queens.
Ears?
I wanted to fucking
Like Lee Dawson.
Yeah. Oh no. Do you think this Lee Dawson is hot, Robert?
No.
He's making porn. I would stop talking to him for making an OnlyFans just for making an OnlyFans.
Oh my god.
Not everyone needs an attractive face. You can get far with the body.
Well, apparently, I didn't watch it because I don't really engage in this type of behavior anymore. But apparently, he did a Tim Tales video, and I guess he pulled him by the ears in.
I love that.
That's just, it's camp.
How long before he has a porn called Dawson's Crack? How long before we see Dawson's Crack? But I'm gonna tell you what. I can wait for my life to be over before I watch that porn. Anyway, I still think she's annoying. Why is she always yelling? Meanwhile, you know what it is? We hate in others what we see in ourselves. Why is she yelling all the time?
That Mexican faggot is annoying as shit.
Yeah. Okay, we get it, Mexican faggot. You yell. You say the same joke over and over again. Okay, we get it. By the way, how about her not know? She goes, oh, you have chonies on or something? She goes, these aren't chonies, these are boxers.
That's like weird.
She goes, I guess that's what they call it in Connecticut. And I was like, no, they call it underwear everywhere else. Isn't that what she called it, underwear?
Do you think she's a fake Mexican?
No, I think that there are stupid chunti people who think that there is a difference. I think I think she's true chunti. Selena is chunti. All right.
Boyle Heights.
Yeah, she is. Amethyst. Nathan.
I hate Amethyst so much. This is the one where I was like, the Meet the Queens, I was right all along. She's a drag Andy Samberg. She keeps saying she's a comedian. I say, show me, don't tell me, make me laugh, and then I'll believe that you have comedic timing. And she's like, I'm the first viral TikTok queen and the first queen from Connecticut to grace the stage. And I'm like, okay, well, just wait, because they're going to steal your thunder. You're the first in appearance, not in impact. I hate you.
I saw this tweet that was like, who's producing what the fuck is that bitch's name? I can't remember her name. The Todrick Hall's friend.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, who's producing all Taylor Swift's albums right now? Because he looks like Jack Antonoff, they were saying. Thank you. That's my young person reference today.
Yeah.
That's very Gen Z of you.
Hold on for a second. Well, I have my little Gen Z. Here we go. Every time I do something Gen Z, I'll play this. Yeah! Gen Z! I'm here to be super young. Anyway, that's a Gen Z reference for you. Brought to you by BetterHelp. Okay. Amethyst was very annoying. I'm glad you guys all thought that.
Did Robert? Did you speak yet?
Did I say that?
Next, we have Jax.
Was pretty annoying. She confused me, but I did like her number. I know we're not on that episode. Regardless.
Amethyst?
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of them said they were kinetic cunt. Even though they probably say that every day at the drag brunches in Hart. Yeah.
That's the Hamburger Mary's Hartford. Original.
The Hamburger Mary's Hartford. They're for sure saying that over their $25 cheeseburger. Okay, next we have Jax. Your thoughts on Jax there, Robert?
I like Jax, actually. She was probably one that completely flew under the radar for me in the preseason. But just, I liked her energy. I liked her little sort of spunkiness. And I'm excited to see what she does.
A lot of people are attracted to her pocket gayness. Are you attracted to her, Robert?
Not particularly. I did note that she looks massively different in drag than out of drag to me. Like, they don't seem like the same person, which is not common.
Your thoughts, Nathan Patrick Brown?
Yeah, I thought it was a lame entrance. I didn't really enjoy the look.
What the fuck?
She said, and I was like, good for her. But then I was like, oh, that's because you're 4 inches tall, so any penis will look big on you.
That's true.
Well, she is half
inches.
black, half Puerto Rican. That is, she probably does legitimately have 40 inches.
Well, good for her. I do like her personality, and I do grow to like her more as the episode progresses. But on entrance, I was like, next.
By the way, I watched this episode a couple of times. And the second time I listened for this, did she call herself, which, by the way, if it's not someone's drag name, they should steal it. Did she call herself Samoan Biles?
I thought I heard that too, honestly.
I also thought that.
Somebody needs to take
But
the
she's
drag
not
name
Samoan.
Maybe Sasha Colby should get a new name.
Yeah.
Britta.
Samoan.
We're over Britta.
Samoan Biles. Or, who's the guy from the Archie show?
The redhead?
Yeah. Isn't he Samoan?
KJ Appa?
Yeah, isn't he Samoan?
I thought he was New Zealand.
He's something. He's not full white.
I think he might be Maori.
What'd you just fucking call me? But by the way, I am starting my new gay podcast over there called All Right Maori. And look for it this fall, by the way.
I would listen to What Did You Just Call Me? A podcast.
Yeah.
That should be a podcast. What did you just call me? With Joe McCann. You know it fucking... Joke. When she came in and she said, I'm from Connecticut, you could feel Amethyst's soul leave her body.
And little did Amethyst know that it was just going to keep coming out.
Those RuPaul's Drag Race queens know how to... I mean, those producers, they know how to fucking name.
They sure do.
All right, let's go over to Lucy LaDuca. We'll start with you, Nathan. Your thoughts here.
I loved it. I thought she had a great look. I liked her line coming in. Lucy, you got some slaying to do. I thought it was a good entrance.
Robert?
Do you think she's actually a construction worker?
No.
Is that a joke?
Construction paper.
She feels a bit cookie cutter to me, but not in a bad way, just in an acceptable, this is Drag Race season 15, like what can you do? But I will say that out of drag, she has the most unsettling pair of eyes I have ever seen. Like she's like a fucking basilisk. I am scared of her. I don't want her to be in the season long because I don't want to see her confessionals. Her eyes are scary. They're like this like molten silver, but too shiny. I don't like it.
There's something about her I didn't like either.
It's the eyes. That's it.
Is it the eye? I couldn't put my finger on it.
It's like she has like the same energy as Anita Wiglet, but without the frantic smiling, and it's just it's not right.
By the way, like she showed those hands, and their hands were so creepily huge and weird.
I thought she was a construction worker for real, for real.
I think she claims to be really a construction worker. But can you imagine her on the construction site? I mean, I don't know anything about construction, but are they like, "Hey, Lucy, get over there and do that thing with the thing that you do," right? And she's like, "Hold on," right? Is she
Considers
whistling?
over.
Is she whistling at guys when they walk by? Like she's a cute guy. She like, "Hey, those some nice balls you got there. I'd like to put them in my mouth." You know, like, do you think she's that?
We have to go to Connecticut to find out.
Yeah. Free mustache rides over here.
It reminds me of that scene in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt when Titus falls in love with a construction worker. Maybe
that's where she got it.
Yeah.
What I thought was so funny is how one of them was like, "Wow, out of drag, you have like tattoos," and she's like, "Yeah, I know, it's like light and dark," and it's like people can have tattoos.
Yeah, that's crazy shocking.
It allows her to pass on the construction site.
What about you, Robert? Did you give your thoughts on her?
Just her eyes, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah, crazy.
Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah. Again, but then she's from Connecticut. You can hear more of Amethyst's soul leave her body. All right. Next, we have Mistress Isabel Brooks. Your thoughts there, Robert?
I liked her. I thought. I think, you know how we're not supposed to compare queens. I think at a certain point we get to this status where it's like she does look like Eureka. It's okay to say that she looks similar to her. She's nothing like her, which I mean I agree with time, but I do love the presence of big Southern drag, no doubt. So the archetype being fulfilled, I'm happy that she's there.
Nathan?
I did think it funny that she was so bothered by sugar and for you, so I guess we can get into that.
I loved her. I thought it was so funny how as soon as she walks in, the camera just like zoomed in on that 1-inch heel. And when she's like, "Yeah, I'm a big bitch and I don't want to break an ankle. Like, I'm going to wear a little kitten heel." And I'm like, okay, now I love you. That was so good.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. I was at Disneyland last night.
Wait,
And I
really?
get this. I really was. And I was get a text message from Laurie Roggenkamp. And it's a screenshot of Mistress Isabel Brooks. She says, "Why didn't you tell me you were on Drag Race?"
So nasty. In or out of drag?
She told me the confessional look. She told me the confessional look.
The confessional look is really quite something. That comment about her owning a pizzeria was so deeply spot on.
Yeah, it was spot on.
Is she one of us, Robert?
I don't think so. You mean, is she gay?
No, I meant does she like pizza. No, I meant is she Latina? What is she?
I
She's
don't-
one of the people
I
you can't
don't-
tell she could be anything.
She could
Mexican,
be really
black,
everything,
Maori.
a smorgasbord of all the ethnicities across the land,
Yeah, she really is everything. You know,
all at once.
I didn't really like her on Meet the Queens, but I liked her better this episode.
Me too.
Yeah, I did like her. By the way, I'm kind of mad at her. When she did that Yolanda joke with Selena's titties, that she was going to be Yolanda. For people who don't know, Yolanda is the woman that shot and killed Selena. Okay.
President of her fan club.
President of her fan club who shot and murdered Selena. That was going to be one of my Snatch Game characters.
You could still do it. Just show her.
I think I almost want to go on Drag Race just to be Yolanda. And I would
What if
have
they
one of
don't
those
let you do
guns.
it?
I'd have one of those guns that goes bang. And if someone says something to me, I'll just shoot them.
Well, don't do it too many times because then you'll do the Jaden Dior fierce like "That's So Raven" moment over and no. For those who can't see, Joe's doing our favorite Aura Mayari.
And then he's done the detox mouth.
Oh, the
Yeah.
detox mouth. Yeah.
By the way, yeah. And then I would say, RuPaul, I'm your biggest fan. Let me start your fan club.
I think that could work.
I'm telling you. Gonna do it. All right. Next we have Robin Fierce. Your thoughts there, Nathan?
Very pretty, very forgettable. Another Connecticut bitch.
By the way, that's one of her Twitter bio. Robert, what did you think?
Wide brim hat. That's what I thought.
Here he goes. There's his bit. You know.
I
If
can't
we
say
weren't on
that.
YouTube, I would play the Seinfeld music, but I already got like a warning from YouTube, so like I can't do that. But yeah,
I
there's
loved
the bit.
her. I just like loved her wig though. It was fantastic. The outfit was falling apart, but the wig itself was sick. She looked good. She seemed fun too.
She did seem pretty. She did seem fierce, but she was very fucking boring. And but again, you know, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because there are a lot of bitches. Maybe we'll learn something about her that we didn't know before.
Or maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't. Okay, well, next we have in the twins, Sugar and Spice. They came in together. Why don't we start with you, Robert? Since you grew up knowing Sugar and Spice.
I raised them. They're my
Yeah.
gay children.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find anything wrong with them. Obviously, I'm surrounded by mindless, idiotic, self-obsessed, WeHo influencer adjacent people rather often, and they did not exhibit the worst traits of that archetype.
Interesting,
They,
Nathan.
they seemed
Oh, go ahead. Wait, Robert's not done.
humble's not the word.
Robert
they
does a
did
lot of
seem
false
fun.
endings. Robert will be like, da 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 da, and then I'm like, okay, Nathan, da 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 da, and I'm like, he's still going. Okay, so go ahead, Robert. Did I let you finish? Go ahead.
I think that was really it, though. We can end there. But actually, I think
There we go.
I just had to do that. Keep going.
Nathan.
They're not funny. They're annoying. There's no charisma. There's no uniqueness. There might be a smidge of talent, but not really. There's no nerve. It's been done. I don't like them. Speaking of Nepo babies, I get Nepo from them for sure.
Nepo twins.
Let me tell you this. Okay.
Let me tell you what. My father fucked Marlena Dietrich.
But also, there's the obvious answer I'm going to say, which is they're horrible, vapid human beings who I would love nothing more than to watch them slide down a razor blade and land in a bucket of alcohol. Okay?
Oof.
Wow.
And I get why you feel that, Nathan, right?
I never said that.
I get why you told me you wish they were one of the babies in the Passover story, that were murdered by God, by the angel, because they didn't put the lamb's blood on the door.
Shit's
It did, yeah, me too. But let me tell you this.
Let me tell you what. My father fucked Marlena Dietrich.
I think if you would have asked me 1 or 2 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, fuck those queens, right? But over the past year or two, I've become friends, I think pretty good friends. with Christian Ochoa.
bitch.
Bitch, what? And I actually, so when Mistress Isabel Brooks said, kind of turned and was like, yeah, I would really know, but I get it. I understood. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have the same energy as Christian. Whereas people hate Christian. Actively, just listeners hate him. Right? And I understand why. Right? But here's the thing. And I've told people this in private. If you actually spend time with him and get to know him and talk to him, you will have an opposite reaction. It's actually almost impossible not to like Christian.
Very lovable.
Very lovable. I think what doesn't come across, I think it's very simple with Christian too, similar, is when you're actually face to face in an interpersonal way with Christian, he is very engaging with you and engages you and pays attention to you. And I wouldn't say necessarily makes it all about you, but it's not as one-sided as you might think you would expect. Okay. And so it makes Christian very likable. We just had this Christmas thing for Afterthought, and Adam Salandra and Jay were very interested in meeting Christian because they had one opinion of him. Well, Adam had no opinion of him, but Jay knew about what the audience felt and was sort of anxious to see. And they both walked away liking Christian very much. He's almost impossible to like. And when you go out with him in public, it's actually annoying because he makes the whole place a party. Like, remember we had to get from one end of the castle to the other, and I was like, okay, we had to get from one end of the Magic Castle to the other. And he was talking to people in one part, and when I was kind of leading the way, I saw a fierce black woman with an afro and boots sitting at the bar, and I was like, oh, motherfucker, make sure he does not see her.
Or she sees him.
Yeah, or she sees him. It didn't happen. So now Christian was talking to her the whole time and everything. So in a way, I get Mistress Isabel Brooks and why once she engaged with them, because she did know them from TikTok and hated them. And then she got to know them and was like, oh, wait, they're actually pretty good people. It's the same thing. I could see how being separated by a screen and not knowing them, you would be like, fuck these twinks. Right? But I could also see if you actually got to know them in that setting when it's not a drag show and they're actually kind of being real, you being like, oh, you know what? They're actually really good people. It's just this really annoying act. That said, I want them to go home.
Yeah, they can be nice people and not be on my TV.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. This Christian is driving me crazy all fucking week. He was supposed to do a show with me earlier today, and he's like, bitch, can we just move it? I'm just really tired. And I go, show's canceled. I've canceled the show.
Oh, was he at Disneyland last night with you?
oh.
No, I would never take
Actually,
him to
no.
Disneyland.
I saw him on the streets, so.
Oh, wait. Oh. Really? Oh. Look at this. Mr. He was out last night. Interesting.
Okay, but how is that a secret? A faggot out in West Hollywood on Friday? Come on.
Interesting. All right. Well, after Sugar and Spice, Ornacia came in. But this time, it really was vivacious. I was like, when she walked in, they're going to do this. They really put some padding on Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And it was actually the real vivacious. These queens did not get the gag of Ariana Grande. They got actual vivacious, who then, when RuPaul told her to walk out, she literally hobbled out as if she had fallen down or something, and we didn't see it.
Vivacious needs to change her name.
Yeah, she really does.
Dolan.
To I don't know what you would think. I can't think of a joke fast enough. Okay. Next we have the mini challenge. RuPaul enters the workroom to reveal the group's two. Wait, sorry. Let's do this again. RuPaul enters the workroom to reveal Group 2's mini challenge, a tribute to Drag Race's second season premiere mini challenge. I wrote this, by the way. It's my fault. The girls will hop on a motorcycle. Let me do this again. Let me rewrite this. This is right 117. Hold on. This is ridiculous. Let me rewrite this. Ooh, extra special there. So this is going to be...
So, Robert, do you live in WeHo?
I do. I've been here for 9 years.
Do you like it?
I do. I think about moving to other parts of LA, but I'm just so used to being close to all the faggotry that I can't imagine being yeah, come to my apartment in Venice. Who would do that? That's too far.
Oh God, no. Ugh.
Just for reference,
Nathan doesn't know what you're
it's
talking
an
about.
hour drive.
Venice? Ugh.
Even it's 8 miles away, but it's an hour drive.
Okay, I get what you're saying, Robert, but here's the deal with WeHo. It becomes an island because WeHo is not next to any freeway. So
I am.
what part of WeHo are you in?
I'm in the
WeHo
topmost part. I'm in I call it the Hollywood foothills because I'm right where the hills start to climb up. I could walk to WeHo proper though in 40 minutes.
Oh.
RuPaul enters the workroom to reveal Group 2's mini challenge, a tribute to Drag Race's second season premiere photo shoot. The girls will hop on a motorcycle and attempt to be fierce while a fan blows in their faces. All the girls keep it breezy, but Lucy LaDuca wins the mini challenge. The twist. Back in the workroom, RuPaul explains the maxi challenge exactly the way it was explained to the first group. Cut 2. RuPaul crashing Group 1's dance rehearsal to reveal the girls of Group 2. we can't wait to see how this turns out, ladies. Any final thoughts on the episode? Let's start with you, Robert.
I just don't think the two groups meeting has paid off ever since Gia Gunn, showed us how it's done in season 6. And I would much rather have seen all 16 girls walk in.
Oh, really?
At once. My favorite part of the season is entrances.
Yeah,
so
it is?
at least I don't know why, but I really love it. I love watching the older seasons, re-entrances. Like if I have to just put something on for 15 minutes, like the All-Star 7 one feels so warm and cuddly. The international seasons all do it. They haven't started to fuck it up like the regular seasons. I just miss it. I miss that. The worst was season 13 when only 2 walked in and then they did their little lip sync.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Walked in. It just really butchered my enjoyment of Drag Race. But this episode did something slightly different with it. They don't have to do something different. Just let it be.
All right. That's all your thoughts, because we're not going to see you for a few weeks now.
That's my main thought, because the whole episode was really just entrances, choreo that I ran away from, and then mini challenges, which were, they were fine.
Nathan Patrick Brown.
I have a couple of thoughts on that second mini challenge that I just want to touch on.
Sure.
One, I loved when Selena Aristides, when Ruth said straddle that hog, she walked up to the pit crew member. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I hate Amethyst when she said, put on your seatbelt. And I'm like, bitch, motorbikes don't have seatbelts. Like, just be correct when you're trying to be funny. I do not understand why Spice put on the shower cap. I think we need to talk about the shower cap, because that's just a huge part of
need to talk about the shower cap. Yes,
getting it.
Because RuPaul was like, "Are you sure, bitch? This is what you want to do. You don't want to have your hair." And she's like, "No, I'm fine." And you're like, "Oh, this bitch does not get it."
That was when Alaska did boy drag.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be fine now.
Yes.
But the shower caps go over hair. So none of it made sense. It looked horrible. She thought she was killing it, and then she ended up doing the exact same face that Sugar did, which just proves my point that we don't need both of them here. I think they're dumb.
Their lip sync is probably going to be absolutely atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. First of all, I love RuPaul.
I think that's the only negative thing I'll say about them. I'm done.
I love RuPaul not caring that now. She just doesn't care now. She just makes super old-timey references that no one... She referenced... I'm just gonna be... You want to hear some faggotry? You're gonna hear some faggotry. She referenced this celebrity named Melba Moore, right? Who was a Broadway actress. She's still around, but a Broadway actress in the 70s. I think she was really big. The only reason I know who she is, and this is where the faggotry comes in, one of my favorite all-time YouTube videos I have is the opening of the B. Arthur television variety show. And it's B. Arthur, Rock Hudson, Waylon Flowers and Madam, and then Melba Moore. And I was like, who's this chick? I don't know. I know the other 3 gays, that the gay icons. So I had to look her up. That's the only reason I knew who Melba Moore is. And then she made a reference to Tippi Hedren, the woman from The Birds. Like, she just doesn't care. She's making old-timey references now all the time.
But I think she's more likable when she's like that.
Yes. Well, I don't think she realized. Because did you see her? And I know I'm tipping my hand for the next episode. The way she was trying hard to laugh at Sugar and Spice at their variety act. And I'm like, it wasn't that good. It wasn't. Look, I'm giving a hint. It wasn't horrible. It was, for that show, it was very safe what they did. But RuPaul was like, like, it's really very whatever what they're doing, right? It's very fine. Anyway, how about the first winners of the mini challenge, Lucy and Irene, being in the bottom of the main challenge?
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Just
Robert, you can put that in your comedy
thing
act.
I've ever heard.
Yeah. Robert's gonna put that in his comedy act.
I'm aghast.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's everything. So, Robert, you've said everything. Everything's been said.
I think for now I'll have plenty of stray thoughts. We'll see. You'll hear me out.
Well, that's right, because we have to bring it to the runway. So you might be able to bring it to the runway. Yeah.
I could bring it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week where our next episode, because 2-parter here. Next episode where Jay Ellis will be our co-host. And every week, I'll tell him to wear a tank top, Nathan.
Speaking of
right.
Robert, do you want to just give us a little flash? Just roll up the sleeve. Hey, hey.
Just a
Aura
little-
Mayari over here.
for the girls.
Yeah, not for
Yeah.
me. I don't care. And every week, as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each and every brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15. So for Nathan Patrick Brown, Roberto Mata, and myself,
Sashay away in the next episode.
thank you for listening to RuPaul's Drag. No, he didn't, but I have to re-record the whole outro.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I feel like you usually talk over your outros.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Do you want to do a type 5 on hats throughout the
Yeah,
outro?
do you want to do your whole thing here on like...
I've done enough. Let me get more to marinate, and then I'll get back into it.
What's the name of that faggot who has all the Instagram videos where he doesn't tell a joke, but everyone thinks he's funny because he shows his stomach?
Mateo.
Yeah. Do your Mateo Lane bit. Like every Mateo Lane bit is legitimately like... You ever been to Bed Bath & Beyond? You have? You have? Really? What are you buying there? With the coupon? You have the coupon? You have the
she
coupon
buys
for
a
Bed
cushion.
Yeah. Yeah. You know she's the kind of person who goes with her gay friend. He's like, oh, no, girl. You do not get that iron. You need it. You don't have any gay friends. That's why you're going to... You're like, okay, not everything you say, fucking Mateo Lane, has to be published on the internet. Race recap. Have something to say? Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/afterthoughtmedia or email us at dragracerecap@afterthought.media. For more Drag Race and LGBTQ content, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. This episode was produced by Luke Stamen and Zach Birch. Nathan Brown has 2 other podcasts. The first is Breaking Down Bad Books, and the other is Bravo Bravo Effing Bravo. You can find those podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find Nathan on Instagram at NathanBrown90. Follow Joe Betance on Instagram at Joe Betance. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Alex S. Anonymous. April Pacheco. Astute Girl. Brad Coley. Carter McKinnon. Karina Williamson. Deckhead. Devin McKay. Doofus Maximus. E. Smith. Elizabeth Timmer. Emma. Humble Pie. J. Thomas Plank. Jesse Harris. Lauren Eckert. Lucy Carrasco.
Bam!
Luke Stamen.
Bam!
Mike Yeager.
Bam!
Nicholas Springham.
Bam!
Nikki Baker.
Bam!
Poppy Woods. Ricardo Herrera.
Bam!
Robert NYC.
Bam!
Sarah Yu.
Hi, Manila.
Tom Bomb.
I just saw Manila,
Krabby
girl.
Cosmos. Troy Anderson. Zach Nelson. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for listening. Robert, thank you so much for doing this. We'll see you in a few.
Thank
Well,
you,
actually, I'll see you this week for Bring It to the Runway. We'll talk about our old versus young. And Christian will have heard this episode by then, and will then be able to respond. And then Nathan, any thoughts? Thank you for. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Nathan.
Sure will.
All right, thank you guys so much, and everyone listening or watching. Thank you for being here. All right, goodbye.
I'm not 99% yet uploaded.